So after losing my mind just a little bit, stripping and restoring the wood trim in our living room, I realized I had opened a can of worms that I just couldn't close. So naturally, the next step is that I'm going to be restoring the door between our living room and our entryway. I have secretly always really wanted to restore this door, but I knew it would take quite a bit of work and quite a bit of time to do. But now that the trim just looks so good, I couldn't just paint that door. We've got to get it back to wood. We've got to bring it back to its glory. So that is what we are doing today, and probably for a week or two or three or however long this takes. Frank did already go ahead and take the door off of its hinges and move it down into the basement for me so that I can work on it a little bit easier. The trim was quite rough on my knees, so I am very grateful for this project to be able to have it laid out on a table and work on it just a little bit easier. So that is where we are getting started. Like with the trim, I'm using citrus strip to strip the many layers of paint off of this door. I do citrus strip for many reasons, a main one being that it's not nearly as overpowering to work with. One of the benefits of having the door laid out like this is that I'm able to use a method that I wasn't able to use on the trim. As I coated the door in a thick layer of citrus strip, I covered it in plastic wrap. I realized that this is rather wasteful, however, I found in my experience that it significantly cuts down on how many layers of citrus strip I have to do and how long it takes. Unfortunately, restoring something back to original wood that's been painted multiple times is just generally a messy and wasteful endeavor, which is why you may want to think long and hard before ever painting an original wood piece. It took many layers of citrus strip to still get this clean. I think that there was about 4 or 5 coats of paint on this side of the door at least. And if you're looking to do a similar project, I definitely recommend sticking with these sort of cheap plastic scrapers. They're very flexible and bendy and won't damage the door, especially if you have a softer wood that you're working on scraping. Some of the metal scrapers can definitely damage the wood if you're not very careful. Once I got it stripped down, or at least like 95% stripped down, I went ahead and used vinegar to neutralize the citrus strip. All right, I think we are finally ready to flip it over and do it all again. I'm going to speed through this side quite a bit faster because it is truly the exact same process on this side of the door. This is definitely the downside of laying it out like this. Obviously, if you worked on it standing up, then you could do both sides at the same time, but I still think that this is just a better way to work personally. Okay, so it is finally time to sand this bad boy down, and I did myself a big old favor and got myself a new little tool to try out. So I have done similar projects before. Specifically, I have restored a couple of our original windows, and they've got all these like nooks and crannies, right, that are like impossible to get every little bit of paint out of. So you end up hand sanding forever, and it's it's not super fun. But I found this little tool, somebody recommended it, and I couldn't help myself. So it's like a little Dremel, and it's got little sanding attachment, and I think that this is going to make my life a whole lot easier, at least when it comes to just getting all that last little bit of paint off. I think I'll still have to use quite a bit of like hand sanding, but I think that this will at least get all that gross little bits of leftover paint off. So very excited to try this out. I definitely love this tool. I have now used it on several projects since then, and it is so handy, but you definitely have to develop sort of a feel for it so that you don't push too hard and take too much wood off or anything like that. But I think once you get a feel for it, I just love it. For any little bits that I still couldn't get off in those grooves, I would just use some hand sandpaper, and then from there I went in with my actual detail sander and gave the whole door a really good sand down, working up to a fine sandpaper so it was nice and smooth. So we've got our door flipped over, so now we get to do the same thing on this side. There was a difference with this side when it came to these pieces of wood that actually held in the glass for the door. They held onto paint a little bit differently, and I couldn't get in there with that little Dremel sander. So I actually used a stiff, sharp putty knife to kind of dig out the paint, and I was just trying to be really careful as I went. I know I mentioned this in my trim video, but it is worth repeating that I always use pre-stain on wood. I have just found that it absolutely makes a difference, and it is not worth skipping the 10 minutes that it adds to the project. For stain, I went with the same stain color that I used on the trim, which was Varathane's English Chestnut. For this first coat, I did use a brush to apply the stain and then a clean rag to wipe off any excess. However, you'll see that typically what I do is actually I just use the rag. I don't use a brush, and I dip my rag into the stain and then I sort of rub it into the wood, and that's generally how I apply most stains. It is finally time to put the poly coat on. I'm very excited for this. I did not expect for the stain process to take so long, but here we are. We have finally made it. It is time to seal this bad boy up. So I thought while I start putting on the first coat, we could also talk a little bit about why it took so long to get it the right color, and at least my theories, right? It's all theories here, because I am by no means a professional. I have done quite a bit of refinishing projects, but when it comes to wood, I'm still just figuring it out as I go, pretty much. So when I redid the trim in the living room, I only had to put one coat of stain on the trim before I did a poly coat. I was happy with just the color after one coat. For the door, I have ended up doing 4 coats of stain to get the color that I feel like looks the most like the trim. Why I think that it has taken so much longer or so many more coats to get here is that I think that they are different types of wood. And like I said, I'm no professional, so I could be completely wrong. I'm pretty sure that the trim, and honestly most of the wood in our house, is pine. One of the reasons I think that, in addition to like a few people having told me that they thought it was pine as well, people who know wood a little bit better than I do, is that the trim and a lot of that other woodwork is very soft. Like when I was sanding down the trim, I had to really be careful not to damage it, especially with my electric little detail sander. It was very easy to accidentally take a chunk out, and so you really had to be careful. But this door is, number one, incredibly heavy, which I feel like is a little bit of a clue that it's a different wood, but it also was a much harder wood to work against. So I could put almost my full body weight, not that I did, but I could almost put my full body weight into sanding it with the electric sander. And I really didn't feel like I had to worry too much about it damaging it, because it felt like it could take a lot of pressure. So my theory at the moment is that the trim and a lot of the other woodwork is pine, and I think that this door is oak. Like I said, take what I say with a grain of salt because I'm no expert and you honestly shouldn't listen to me. What are you doing listening to me? Don't do that. So anyway, that is my theory. And yeah, I'm just gonna get a coat of this on here, let it sit, and then we're just gonna give it a light sanding with a fine sandpaper and then put another coat on. And then guess what? We gotta flip the door over and do the whole staining and poly coating again. I used Minwax water-based polycoat in a clear semi-gloss on this project. It's one of my favorites to use and I just prefer using a water-based personally. And I will once again save you the headache of watching the exact same process on the other side, but it is literally just the same process. So honestly, I still kind of can't believe how good this door turned out. I am so happy that I did take the time to restore it. For so many years, I looked at it with all of the chipping paint. I just thought, man, I bet there is just a beautiful door hiding under there. And now we can actually see that. I will say that as, you know, a bit of a perfectionist, it does bug me just the tiniest bit that because these are, at least from what I can tell, different types of wood, they did take, even though this is the same stain on both of them, it did take it just slightly different. Now, I don't think most people will ever notice that or ever think about it. Like, I don't think that it's that noticeable, but for me, after having touched every piece of the wood trim and the door, like I notice it. But don't get me wrong, I am ecstatic about how this turned out. Also, my husband put in a lot of work when he put it back on to make it actually really functional. One thing I don't think I ever mentioned earlier was just how unfunctional this door was for so many years. When we first bought our house, actually the door would just drag across the floor, and that was because it is such a heavy door. Over the years, the hinges were no longer like holding it up, or not so much the hinges, but the screws that held it into place. And something that my husband realized when working on putting this all back together was that there was not a stud that was super close to the wall where the hinges went in. That's why it was sort of pulling off of there and it was always hanging sort of at an angle and dragging. And so he was able to find like extra long screws that could actually reach the stud that is back in there. So now this door is actually hung properly. And the other thing was that the doorknobs on this door were also just like not in great shape. They hadn't been like greased in so long and they just needed a little bit of tinkering. And so my husband also fixed all of that. A lot of times people ask like, oh, who does the work on your guys' house? And you know, this project is a great example of how 90% of the time it's both of us. You know, like I'll take down to strip down this door and refinish it and all that stuff, but he does the stuff that like I personally would never have the patience to do, like figuring out how to get it hung properly, fixing the hardware, all of that stuff. And this is where we're a great team for that stuff because he would never have the patience to refinish a door and I would never have the patience to sort of fix all the like little bits and all that stuff. So together, you know, we made it happen and I really love that. But now it can easily open without dragging on the floor. Can you imagine? What a luxury. And I know that that sounds like not that big of a deal, but when you've had a door that has been sort of a problem door, comment and let me know. If you have ever owned or live in an old house, I'm sure you have a problem door. And this has always been our problem door. But no longer, it actually works. But thank you so much for following along. I hope you're having a lovely day and I will see you next time.